The members of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus returned to Kyankwanzi with significant political developments, with one of the figures who has been at the center of the previous retreats missing in action after a series of political developments that saw former powerful Premier and Secretary General Mbabazi lose his place at the center of power. Some senior party leaders, however, downplay his absence at the retreat, insisting that it is insignificant to the party.
Why don't you telephone him and ask him where he is? Just telephone him, pick his phone, telephone him. I don't want to say where he is because he may be on the way here. He may be sick in the hospital. He could be in Britain. He could as well be in his home. There is no, among the laws of God, government, and the party, there is none which says he must be here. So we are here on our own volition.
I will come back, give me a chance.
Concerns that the internal contradictions are taking the party down the drain, insiders believe it is wishful thinking of those who would want to oust the party from power after close to 3 decades.
From you.
That's their view and they're entitled to it. That's their democratic right. Remember, they are contesting with us. You cannot have the opposite team saying good things about your capacity. Well, the test of the soup is in the eating. Let's see when we go down to the play field, how they manage. And if they win, that's democracy. If our popularity is going down, why don't they exploit it? If they exploit it and they win, and they will be the alternative government. The American government. This is not our challenge, but they will not win. That's what I can assure you. You know, why are they complaining about our popularity going down? They should be very happy about it. Yes, if I were them, I would keep quiet.
NRM has done very well as a movement. In the years it has been in power, it continues to do well. Therefore, the people of Uganda will give it renewed mandate because of its performance, because of its credibility, and because of its record.
The NRM retreat comes at a time when calls for electoral reforms continue to get louder every day, with the 2016 general elections a stone throw away. The leadership of the country, however, sees no reason to worry in that regard, even as the civil society and the opposition continue to raise the red flag.
So we are waiting for ideas from the population. Because the election is not about government. It's about the population, the will of the population. So we are waiting for the Law Reform Commission to compile all the ideas that were contributed by the public and institutions so that we bring it onto the floor we take it to cabinet and then bring it to the floor of parliament.
You know, the movement government has always been committed to improved, free, fair and credible elections. Therefore, actually the movement is at the forefront of proposing new electoral reforms. Fortunately, other parties are also doing the same. So there have been discussions with other political parties, and in the main, we have now agreed on the major reforms to carry out. Cabinet will be discussing them this month, now that the different political groups, stakeholders and the parties have agreed. Then at the Parliament should be able to discuss these reforms in the course.
A few days earlier, the government side in Parliament shot down a bill that would streamline presidential transition in the country, with the MPs insisting the transition question is sorted out by the controversial Kyankwanzi resolution that propelled the sole candidature of President Museveni. We tasked the Prime Minister to explain the reason for rejecting what looked a necessary piece of legislation.
Government did not accept that bill because we wanted to consider it first and see the proposals. We think the ideas are reasonable, but they are so important that we need to consider them both as a government, cabinet, and also as a caucus, so that we go with it when we have fully internalized it.
A critical development witnessed is the presence of independents at the caucus meeting in what appears a move to rally consensus ahead of the critical constitutional amendments. Butambala woman MP Mariam Nalubega, a renowned critic of the government this time, was downed in yellow colors.
It's my choice to choose to come or not to come, but I chose to come. Why? One, the law does not bar me from associating with anybody. I have a right anyway to associate with whoever I want to associate with. And I'm here by association and I'm here on invitation. And two, you know that I've ever participated in NRM primaries. So that means that I have a definition somewhere in courts as to where I belong.
The MPs will spend the next 1 week deliberating on a number of issues, on what will most likely be laws when they hit the floor of Parliament for deliberation.
When you have two heads who are always thinking in consonance, then it means one of them is not thinking. You cannot have more than two people working together and you don't have dissonance. Of course, if there was a bit of disagreement within the party, has it persisted? There was a disagreement. Has it been resolved? Because the important thing is not having disagreement. It's how do you resolve that contradiction that really matters. Because when you are running a community, communities have contradictions. What is important is how are those contradictions resolved. And for us, we have resolved this contradiction and we are moving on, as you can see.
Sabiti Joseph, WC Television from Kyankwanzi.